Well, here we are, the video that you've all been waiting for, the best Forex brokers for the American citizens. Now, if you live in the US or somewhere in North America, you probably understand how hard it is to find a good, trustworthy broker that you want to put your money into that has a decent spread. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the top 3 brokers that I personally like. Now, before we go any further, I do want to make sure that you guys understand I'm not affiliated, sponsored, or have any connections with these brokers, and neither am I a financial advisor, so do your own research. But I wanted to make a video on the 3 brokers that I like for US citizens, and we're going to go into their websites and go over exactly why that is. So let's go right into it. With our first broker, we're going to go over to Forex.com. And what better name than to have the actual Forex as your broker name. Very smart. They've been around for about 18 years. They are probably one of the top brokers in the world, and it's nice that they do support the US citizens. Now, obviously, they do claim that they are number one, and I mean, they've got some awards and accolades to show for that. But before we just look at the nice stuff that they have on their homepage, we do want to look at a few things that we really need to go by. And if you haven't seen the video on how to find a good broker, make sure you click into the descriptions and there will be a link on that video. And I go over how to find a good broker instead of just going with any broker that sounds good. Because anyone can make a pretty page, but not all brokers are the same. They all offer similar things, but there's a few key things that you guys need to make sure that they have. And for that first thing, we just want to make sure that they're regulated. We want to make sure that there's someone watching these brokers, making sure they're not doing anything weird or crazy with our money. So we want to make sure they're regulated. And if you come down all the way to the bottom, any good broker on their website, in their footer, will usually have who they're regulated by, a disclaimers page, quick links to all of their risk and disclaimers, and all that nice stuff. And as we can see, Forex.com does have that. So that is good in my book. And if you read, they're just registered by the FCM, the CFTC, member of the NFA. Here's their number. So if you don't trust them, you can go look it up on the NFA's website. And if you need to do any extra research, you can come over here and kind of just click through their links and see what they offer and, get to know them a little more. Come on their disclosures and risk warnings. Any good broker, any legitimate broker should have this, so that's good. Next, what we want to look for is, what is their customer service like? Because if I have a problem with the broker, I want to make sure that, one, they can speak my language, which they support US citizens, so I'd hope they can speak English. They do have a telephone number you can call, a live chat, and an email. So that's really good to know that you can reach out to them in multiple ways. And you can always check on reviews to see what other people are doing with these brokers, what issues they're having, and are they getting them resolved. Now, another huge thing is I want to make sure that my broker is supporting good spreads within the currencies that I'm trading. And I want to make sure that they have a good selection. So, for example, it says right here that they are trading and providing over 80 Forex pairs, including gold and silver. So, if you're only trading Forex, it's pretty good because they're most likely providing all the major pairs, a lot of the minor, and some weird exotic pairs, which I wouldn't trade, but they're always there for you. I don't think that they offer any cryptocurrency or stocks, which if that's something you want, then you may have to go with a different broker, but that's kind of up to you. But they do offer a lot of the Forex pairs, which is really good. And as you can see, their spreads are tight, where it says Euro USD can be as low as 0.2 pips, which is incredible. You want to make sure that the spreads are super small, so that way you can profit easier and make your money instead of going through so many loopholes. And another thing is they have these top bars which you can go to. And another thing that I know that this broker has is a demo account. Now, you want to make sure that you can demo an account before you actually try it out. It's kind of like test driving a car. You wouldn't spend thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on a car without ever driving it. So why would you put tens of thousands of dollars or pounds into a Forex broker that you have never used before? You know, kind of common sense, but make sure your Forex broker also has a demo account. And then obviously, what platforms can you trade off of? Right here it states MetaTrader 4 they support. They probably support MetaTrader 5 and stuff like that. You just want to make sure, do your due diligence and go through these brokers and make sure they have what you want, because everyone has different needs and what they want in a broker, but you also want to make sure that they are meeting all of your expectations. But again, they are regulated, which is great. Their customer support looks good, which is another plus. And then also, I am almost 100% sure they are an STP or an ECM broker, meaning they're not trading against you, but they're actually making their money through your spreads and commissions, which is good because that means they don't care if you win or lose, which means there's no conflict of interest. So the last thing you want to do is start trading in the Forex markets and have your broker start trading against you. Now, for the second broker, we're going to cover IGUS. Now, IG has been around for multiple years, but I think that they've finally just broken into the US market. And the reason that there's not a lot of US brokers is because the US has a lot of regulations and laws and rules that they have to abide by. So a lot of brokers don't really like coming to the US because there's a lot more loopholes and regulations that they have to come through. So it's a little bit harder for them to really, establish themselves in the US. But just like we did with Forex.com, the first thing we want to do is make sure that this broker is regulated. So again, the easiest way to do that, hop down to that footer and check if it says anywhere on their website that they are regulated. And down here it does say that they do abide by the Commodities Future Trade Commission and also the NFA. And here's their NFA number as well. You can go check that if you want to. It's really up to you. But another way that you can look is come to their risk warning and their disclosures, or anything that sounds kind of like that, their legal documentation. Come into that and you can see PDFs and just a bunch of legal jargon that every legitimate broker should have. So IG does pass that test, which is good. Now another thing that we want to look for, do they have customer support? Are they willing to help us when we need them? And from the looks of it, it looks like they do have a live chat here down at the bottom right. And then they also do have multiple areas of social media, which is good. But also they do have a contact form. It is a little bit difficult to find their customer support right off the bat. Not saying that's an awful thing, but you can just look it up, find their help, and kind of go through there. Now, they do have some pretty good resources as far as, the simple questions, and I'm pretty sure that their live chat isn't bad either, but I think just Forex.com's was easier to find their customer support, which is always important. So really, that's up to you. And then obviously, it says right here, we're 24 hours a day from 3 a.m. Saturday to 5 p.m. So they are not open on those weekends, just like the Forex markets aren't. You want to make sure that they have the right currencies that you are looking for. For example, they are claiming that they have up to 27% lower spreads on Euro USD than the other top US brokers. So, that's really good to see. And obviously you can see their comparisons and what they offer and everything that they have within their arsenal. You want to make sure that all their stuff is legit. And obviously if you just go through the website, you can find all this stuff. It's just kind of, you have to do your own due diligence. But through everything I've researched through them, they have some pretty good credibility to them. I mean, they've been around since 1974, have almost 200,000 clients, and then obviously they're pretty legitimate. So this is a decent broker. This is one that I would highly suggest for people using. Obviously, do your own research, make your own bias, and then kind of go off of that. And then finally, the last one is Holanda. Now this is probably the OG. This is the first one I ever opened up when I first started trading years and years and years ago. This is one that I just know is very good in regards to being regulated, being trustworthy, and has amazing reviews all around. The only problem that a lot of people have is their leverage is 1 to 50, which if you have a smaller account, don't look to be flipping your account. They're more for long-term growth, which was what you should be aiming for. But again, everyone likes to flip a good account every now and then. So again, the first thing we're looking for, are they regulated? And down here you can tell that they are, because they have that NFA number. And obviously if you want to go to their legal documents, which I made in another video, you can go check that out as well. They're pretty easy to navigate. They look like a professional website, which is always good, because you want to make sure that the broker you're using has a good looking website, because if they're not willing to spend money on themselves, well, are they worth your money? And obviously they are partnered with some of the biggest companies in the world, which is very good to know, because if they're managing money like Google, Airbnb, Tesla, and Twitter, well, you should feel pretty safe as well. And then obviously you can kind of go into their menu and go into just things of whatever they're offering. They have the products that they're listing, the platforms that you can use, MetaTrader 4, which is what I think every trader uses. I've never really heard of anything else. They do have a learning section, which I usually don't recommend any broker education, but that's kind of just up to you. I would pay for some other mentorship. But again, it's nice to know that they actually do have some of this stuff on here for you, for if you're beginning or you're a newbie or whatever. And then obviously they do have demo and then start trading live, which is super nice to know. And then obviously they do have a standard account, which is free, really cool. And then a premium account, which you can tell the minimum account balance needs to be 20,000 for that premium account. So if you're starting to trade today, this week, or this month, well, you should probably start with the standard account. And in all honesty, there's not that much of a difference. The only thing you get is a dedicated relationship manager, and then the MT4 open order indicator, which we don't use indicators over here. But again, you want to just kind of go off of that. And another thing I forgot to mention about the other two brokers, you want to look at how the deposit and withdrawal methods are for your trading account. If it's easier to deposit money than to withdraw money, that should be a red flag, because it should never be a problem to get your money out. So if they can use credit cards, cryptocurrency, wire transfers, or through your bank, that's always good. But you want to make sure it's on both ends, that it's not easier to deposit and harder to withdraw. That should do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video and you think that these three brokers could be one of your future potential ones, I'll link their websites down in the descriptions below. And I would appreciate if you guys showed some love, leave some comments of what you liked and didn't like, smash that subscribe button, and hit that like to help us out. And I'll see you guys on the next video.